Hello, everybody. This is Dave from Universal Truth of Mankind. That's utom.org. Go there to find our latest video and where to find us on Rumble and also on YouTube. Okay, so last time we talked, I'm going to shorten down these videos significantly right now. We were talking about the 10 voices and the 10 words, which are the 10 commandments. And these 10 commandments are key because it is the Creator presenting itself to us. But it's presenting us in a way that we find out about ourselves. There's a good book out, I'm trying to remember the author's name, called God in Search of Man. And what it's about is that God tries to teach man who man is. And remember, we're created in the image of God. Therefore, we have something in common with God. We have similar attributes. We are little gods, so to speak. I'm trying to be careful about how I say that because I don't want people to think, oh, we're gods. No, we're little g gods, not big G gods. Okay? Or big E Elohim, little E Elohim. So we're in the image of the Creator. And it is up to us to transform ourselves, to resurrect, to become aware of, to complete, to change these attributes we have within the Creator, to conform or match the Creator's attributes. Now, last time we did 3. We dealt with I'll be that I'll be, or I'll be in particular. Then we dealt with the brain, the soul, and the brain of the Creator, which Yud He Vav He, and then we spoke about Elohim specifically, which is the mouthpiece of the Creator. So we had the soul, the brain, and the mouth of the Creator, and those 3 things had to come together in order to understand what's going to be happening for the next 6 attributes. And these attributes we have in common with the Creator. And we have to identify these within ourselves and transform them. So the next one we're going to be hitting upon is, and I'm sure you've seen this a lot of times in your Bible, you see the Lord God. The Lord thy God. Things like that. Capital L-O-R-D, all capital letters, God. Capital G, little O-D. That's what we're talking about. Now, what is this that's being spoken of? Well, obviously, in the Hebrew, we're talking about Yud He Vav He Elohim. Now, I know it sounds like, well, there's an Elohim, there's Yud He Vav He, they're coming together and into one word or one name, a single attribute, and that's correct. That's exactly what's happening. But what makes it different as being grouped together as a 2-word name versus 2 single-word names? And that's a question we should be asking ourselves. Well, here's how it works. When we take all these attributes and we put them into a what's called sometimes called the Kabbalah tree, the tree of life, it's often called. What we don't realize, because we see it on paper, is that we're looking at a 2-dimensional object on paper. There's left, right, and middle. That's it. But in reality, it's a 3-dimensional object. These attributes work together in 3 dimensions. Actually, there's a 4th one, but we'll talk about that later. But there's 3 dimensions that are taking place. Now, those 3 dimensions, 6 different directions that we as humans can go, is what we're talking about. We can go forward and backwards. We can go left or right. Or we can go up and down. Those are the 6 directions or the 3 dimensions that we live in. That's what bounds us in this realm. Now, those don't exist in the spiritual realm. They exist in the physical realm, the realms that we are in. The realm that we are in. That's we are faced with those limitations. So these 6 attributes we're going to be starting on today, and then for the next 6 weeks, work together and combined, but they work in a balancing point. And that's what Yud Hey Vav Hey Elohim is. It's a balancing point. It's a balance point between the spiritual and the physical realms. It's where they both come together. We've all heard it. You're so heavenly bound, spiritually bound, that you're of no physical value. You're of no worldly value. You're not bringing anything down to improve the world you're in. Or you can be so physically based that you are no spiritual use because you have no need for it. So what we need to do is bring the two together. And Yud Hey Vav Hey Elohim is that balancing point. So there is a vertical balancing point that takes place. And you look at the tree of life, you will see that there's upper and a lower, and right in the middle, Yud Hey Vav Hey Elohim. It's the balancing point. But it's not only a vertical, there's also horizontal balance taking place. It's the left and the right. The left side is typically characterized as being stringent, judgmental, inflexible. While we look at the right-hand side, and it's free, open, lacking discipline. Everything's accepted. Now, we can tell just by that explanation that both the left and the right by themselves are not good. You can love something so much that you won't let go of it. Like a child or something like that. You love that child so much that you won't let the child grow. Or you may not like something so much that you won't give it a person a chance to love you or to have a relationship with a person. So we can go to the extremes. The left and the right are extremes. The top and the bottom are extremes. So we need to fuse together to have a mutual benefit where you can love somebody, yet at the same time give them the opportunity to be who and what they're supposed to be without interference from you. We can be dissatisfied with people, sort of like, I may not like you, but I still love you. You see how they're pushing that. So you got the vertical and the horizontal. But there's also the back and forth portion where you're going back and forward. You got that idea of where these attributes have to come together and be at balance in all 3 directions. Now, so it's like a 3-dimensional picture coming to a balancing point, which is called Yud Hey Vav Hey Elohim. This is also known as balance, beauty, and harmony. That's the point. It's sort of like the yin-yang type of a thing coming together, except in 3 dimensions. Now, we are not wholly balanced. We know that. It takes generations for us to become balanced. So this is a multi-generational effort. It's not just one person's effort for eternity. It's all of our efforts that will bring this all together. Okay, so this is also the mouth that's giving us, the voice that's coming out of Elohim, telling all of us the commands, the following commands after the first 3. So it's issuing a command, but it's trying to tell us, make sure you keep them in balance. Don't isolate that attribute and say, well, it's not connected or it has no influence on another attribute. No, they're all supposed to come together in harmony, beauty, and balance. All right, so let's take a look at the verses that we'll be covering here for the commandment, which starts on verse 8. It's one of the longer ones, too. It says, keep the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. Honor that day. Take it seriously, because the seventh day, the Sabbath day, represents a balance, a harmony, a beauty of all these attributes coming together and in servitude of the Creator and in servitude of mankind to better us, because we have a mission. So 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day hold on a second. Okay, the seventh day is, I think I went too far, is a Sabbath unto the Lord, capital L, capital O, capital O-R-D, all caps letters, which is what? The brain. Yud He Vav He is what we're talking about there. But then it says God, which is Elohim, coming all together into a balance. In it you shall not do any manner of work. That means create anything. Nor should you, your sons or their daughters, nor any servants, like hired people. Hired people should not be working as well. So even your staff, if you have a business, should not be working on this day. You should also give them the day off. Nor the male and female, nor the cattle of your field, in other words, like plowing a field, or a stranger that is within your gates, in other words, within your house. So don't say, well, I can't do any work today, so stranger, can you do the work for me? No, they can't do any work for you. It's a day of rest for all of creation. So you're setting up this environment. You're setting up a balancing situation. For the 6 days, the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. In other words, seventh day of the week, not the first day of the week. Talk about the seventh day of the week. It's talking about a cumulative effort to bring a balance, a beauty, a harmony into creation, which takes effort on our part. The Creator stopped creating on the seventh day so that we can now, remember, He created something from nothing. He completed on the 6th day, so the 7th day He rested. Now it is our turn to create from what's been created. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. So we take these attributes from the Creator that the Creator shared with us, made the image of them within us, and it's up to us to pull them together, to balance them, to polish them, and make sure that they become a cohesive unity. Well, everybody, shalom. Have a great weekend. Take care, and thank you for spending time with us.